This is Worth the Journey, a Worthington Schools podcast. My name is Angie Adrian.
And I am Jeff Maddox. Together, Ange and I serve as assistant superintendents and also the host of this podcast. And Ange, believe it or not, we're heading into our third year and people are actually listening.
Thankfully, it's not really about us. It's about the amazing people that we get to interview.
Worthington is home to about 11,000 students and 1,400 staff members. But what makes this place so special is the relationships, the culture, and the sense of community we share.
We celebrate the journeys of the people who make Worthington Schools such a great place to work and grow.
So whether you're a student, staff member, parent, alum, or just curious about Worthington Schools, we're glad you're joining us.
Hey, Jeff, I am really excited today to bring back one of our teachers. She finished her first year of teaching last school year and is back to share her experiences in year two.
Yep, and we're excited to bring this to you. This was recorded at the end of last school year. We had Maggie Torlone on. For those who listen, remember early into her teaching career. And then we brought her back at the end of her first year to reflect on how that year went. And we're excited to bring this to you for many reasons. But oftentimes when I'm out recruiting, I hear from teachers about what it feels like to be a first-year teacher. And you're going to be able to hear Maggie's voice. You're going to hear her reflect on what she did well and the things that she needed to spend some time focusing on. And quite honestly, how she was supported. And a lot of that support came from your team, Ange, and how your team rallies around all teachers, but specifically those who are entering into the profession. And what a great job you do wrapping that support around them to lift them up so they can be awesome first-year teachers for us.
Absolutely. I appreciate you saying that. When they go into the interview, Maggie had a lot of great things to share in her interview, hence the reason she was able to land the job in Worthington. And yes, our team helps a lot, but also you have to be willing to receive it. Mm-hmm. And Maggie was really open to learning. She is a sponge and wants to continue to grow and learn all the time. And so it's fun to listen to her, share with us. So it's fun that we have an opportunity to be able to listen to her and share with us all the things that she learned and how she's continuing to grow as a young teacher. So we're excited to hear from Maggie. Welcome, Maggie. We ready?
We're on.
Good afternoon, Jeff.
Great to be back, Ange.
It
It's good to see you.
It is absolutely beautiful out there today. Did you have a chance to get outside?
It is beautiful. I have been outside. It is for you and I who are both golfers.
It's like the perfect day.
This is good golf weather. I tried to golf when it was warm, yet 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah. That's a good excuse, though. When you golf at 50-mile-an-hour winds, it is a built-in excuse.
I provided every opportunity to use that excuse at that range.
Jeff, it was putt-putt.
It was putt-putt, yeah.
That windmill gets me every time.
Especially when it's windy.
Yes, especially when it's windy.
It
is super intimidating.
I know. I went home today for lunch. I don't do that often, but I decided I would go home and let Izzy outside, and it was really hard to come back.
Yes, it is.
It's
one
that
of
time
those
of the year. I
days.
think maybe our kids feel that way in the spring too. Our students,
a little bit, and teachers. I get it.
I think eventually recesses get a little longer in the spring on nice days. Get kids outside. They start to get a little more squirrely. We're done with state testing. We finished state testing. Big shout out to our teachers and our staff.
Congratulations to the staff and students on that one. But I know after the state testing is over, that's where it gets hard for teachers sometimes.
It does.
And shout out to the teachers for being patient.
Summer starts to creep in, and
it's around the corner. Believe it or not,
around the corner.
It is almost here.
We are finishing the year strong, and this is the time of year where we hope that we. Not hope, but I think our teachers do and staff do a great job of just ensuring that we finish strong. And we all also are starting to think about next year, planning for summer school right now. We're going to have over 2,000 students involved in summer school this summer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And so summer continues and schooling continues, I guess. Schooling continues for us in the summer.
And shout out to all the buildings that have been working with us to find the new next great teacher for Worthington. Our building principals and their interviewing teams take this work very seriously. And I am super excited to introduce the new teachers in August. And that's one of the coolest weeks.
It is a cool week.
We get to interact with everybody in one space for the first time. And we've got some really good ones this year.
We do. And we've had the opportunity to talk to some of those really good ones that we hired last year.
That's exactly right.
And there's one sitting with us today. That's pretty cool.
Yes, it is the triumphant return.
It is. We had this young lady on our podcast early on. As a matter of fact, I think when we interviewed her for the podcast, she had just been in the classroom a few days.
That's right.
Not very long. So we asked some questions. She's like, well, I've only been in the classroom for 3 days now, but I have some experiences about the interview process. So now we can actually talk with her about the entire school year.
So what she didn't know is you and I knew when we were interviewing her back in August, we knew we were going to invite her back. But we wanted her to be able to kind of navigate her first year. So she would then come back and talk to us about it, because what we want to hear is, this is what I said in August, and this is actually how it played out, which is awesome, because I think it's important for all teachers to know that. But I know when I'm out recruiting how often teachers who want to work in Worthington refer to this podcast. And they appreciated the series we did 2 years ago about what's like to be a new teacher.
Yeah.
And they also referenced Maggie's first podcast, that it is great to hear a first-year teacher's voice on how she navigated the application and the interviews and the building level interviews and receiving that first phone call, all of those exciting things. But then in your head, you think this is how it's going to play out. But then, fast forward a year later, you hope that some of it played out that way. But in reality, some of that stuff you probably had to change and tweak, and that's okay.
Well, Maggie, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's really good to have you. As Jeff mentioned, last fall you shared what you were hoping for in your first year of teaching. Mm-hmm. And now that you've lived it, you've had an opportunity to almost finish a year. You're not quite there yet, but
So
just
close.
a few weeks left. What are some moments or lessons that you're most proud of after that first year of teaching?
Oh, gosh. I think mainly I'm just so proud of my students. I think I've been able to just watch them grow so much, not only in the classroom with writing. We've been doing a lot of really fun projects. I think one of my favorite lessons that we did was narrative writing, and we combined it with science, and we were able to write. They got to create their own choose your own adventure stories with 7 or 8 different endings, and we got to navigate how do we publish our own books and write those different endings and add dialogue in different settings. And it was just super fun because I got to watch them start with me at the very beginning of 4th grade. They just ended 3rd grade, and watch their writing grow all the way to be able to write and publish their own books, which was really cool
That's cool.
to
That's
watch.
cool.
But I just, little things like that have been really cool, and getting to get really excited about showing what we know on state testing. But I've just loved and been so proud of my students and watching them grow as people too.
Great. Shout out to those 4th graders at Brookside Elementary.
Yes.
Right? 4th graders
awesome.
at Brookside. Do you have without giving names, do you have a student who has just grown exponentially that you're proud of? And maybe what's one of those areas that you noticed that growth in?
Yeah. I think when you ask that question, I have 2 students that come to mind. I have one student that when I first got him at the very beginning of the year, writing was definitely a struggle for him. And that's okay, because everyone is a different learner, and some people's strengths are other people's weaknesses, and that's okay. That's something we embrace in the classroom and try to grow on. And I've just watched him start the year hating writing and not wanting to do it and being very reluctant, to now he is writing on his own. He is doing it at home. He is really enjoying it. He's showing me what he's learning and what he's writing and what he can accomplish, and being very excited to celebrate with me, but also ask ways that he can grow and improve on. And just the fact that he went from, I don't want to do this, to how can I grow in this, has just been huge for me to be able to watch and praise him for that and show him what that means as a learner. So that's been really, really cool. And then I have another student that I've just been really excited to be able to walk alongside of her this year, just with different friendship things, and just watch her learn how to communicate with her friends. And we've had lots of lunchtime conversations, just the two of us, of how do we handle conflict with grace and patience and humility. And I've just been able to watch her just really grow as a human being and being able to communicate and love her friends well. And so that's been really cool to be able to see.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
Before we get too far into the podcast, I think it's important that we acknowledge something, and that is a big change. And that is you were hired at Brookside as a fourth grade teacher.
Yep.
You are moving to the third grade
I am.
next school year, still at Brookside. How are you embracing and navigating this new change? And what are you excited about as you make the shift?
Yeah, I think when we first figured out that was going to be the change, it was right around state testing. So I don't think I really processed it a ton because I was so much in, all right, we got to get through state testing and just being there for my students. I have a huge amount of faith in my principal, Jenny. She just knows her teachers really, really well. And it was a lot of conversations with her of, all right, Jenny, you've seen me teach this last year. You've seen my strengths, you've seen my weaknesses. Let's talk about what would be best for me next year. And she and the third grade teachers had a lot of confidence in me that was a change that would be really beneficial, not only for me, but for the students as well. And I'm very excited to be able to step into that role. I'm super excited for my team. I absolutely love the third grade team at Brookside. And I'm excited because I think it's going to be a huge benefit for the students as well, because this last year of fourth grade, I've been able to see what these third graders are walking into and where they should be at the end of the year. And I'm excited to be able to start that process with them and hopefully get them to that spot. So.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to listen to how Maggie is approaching that change. Change happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to shift sections around, and sometimes it does create some anxiety and some nervousness. And I've had the opportunity to talk to Maggie about this, and she has been nothing but positive and leaning into that change. But it's the people at Brookside that are going to help you with that as well.
Yeah.
And you're going to a great team.
Yeah.
And things will remain positive there too.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. And there's a lot of siblings. So I'm excited to have my same
cool.
families again, which will be
awesome.
super fun.
Yeah.
That's great. Maggie, maybe this relates a little bit to the change process that you've been going through, but I remember when we first talked with you, you said that Cedarville College, where you attended, really prepared you well for your first year. So now that you've lived it and you're going through the change that you're going through now, would you still say that? And are you seeing things any differently in that change process?
Yeah, I think I would still completely agree that Cedarville definitely benefited and helped me in this, just with a lot of the practicals of lesson planning and looking back at your standards and cultivating relationships with my students and with their families and their parents and all of those things. And that's been really helpful to launch me into this. I think a lot of it too that I've had to learn is things that I wasn't expecting or wasn't prepared for, not because Cedarville didn't prepare me, but because that's just first year teaching. You don't know what you don't know. And so it's been cool to be able to have that backbone that they've taught me well, to be able to react to situations and to view the challenges more as an opportunity and not a setback. And so that's been really fun to be able to.
Gosh, if you're figuring that out your first year, because I'm in year 34 and changes still happen. Changes still happen that sometimes we're not prepared for, right?
Yeah.
So
and
true.
so you learn along the way. And
Into the mess.
if you're figuring it out in year one, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you were first on, you mentioned that you student taught in Xenia.
Yep.
And you also talked about how that student teaching experience was awesome.
Yeah, it was the best.
So now that you've done this, talk to student teachers that are going to be stepping into their first year and into a classroom. How can they use that student teaching experience and how can they apply that to the first year and how can they navigate that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for the first month or two of teaching, I feel like I was constantly thinking to myself, all right, what would Marissa Vest do? Because that was my mentor teacher. And I was constantly like, how would she handle this? And so just writing down everything that you learned from student teaching, I had a journal that I just wrote everything down of simple things from what my teacher did at the beginning of the school year to parent-teacher conferences to talking with her throughout the summer of how does she organize her classroom, and just writing everything down and then creating it into your own, and just thinking back on the beauty of teaching. I think student teaching just really launched my love for teaching because it was that slow start into I kind of have my own classroom, but I also have someone that's watching me. And so just think back about why you love teaching and why you're going into this, and then being able to have your own classroom. And I don't know, it's just the best. So just remember everything that you learned and write it all down because you probably will forget it and need to look back at it.
And don't forget, everybody has a Marissa in their life.
Yes.
Use them. Call
Yes.
them, email them, text
Yes.
them, whatever you need to do. Because none of us, Angie, you're 34 years into it. I don't even know, 30, I think. We all have people that I still call
For sure.
Yeah.
to say, hey, help me navigate
too.
this, right?
Yep.
And first-year teachers, you have a cooperating teacher, right? You have a mentor teacher. Shout out to your mentor teacher.
Katie
Yeah?
Eisman.
Yep. And talk with us about that year with Katie.
It was just the best. I think I've been super appreciative of Worthington and their mentor program. I actually just got to celebrate my first year with all the other first-year teachers at Worthington, and we had this huge celebration with dinner and a time to just reflect on the last year. And being able to celebrate that with Katie was just the best. And I've been able to reflect on this past year and just the friendship that she and I have and the grace and the patience that she has extended to me throughout this last year, just helping me navigate different things from parent-teacher conferences to student conflict to OSTs to map testing to everything in between that teachers have to deal with and do well. Being able to have her standing right beside me the entire time, not just because she had to, but because she wanted to, has just been the best. I could not thank her enough. I would not be where I am today without Katie Eisman. She has been the best.
That's like the best compliment you could get.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Katie, when Katie listens to this, will her heart will be warmed by that. So thank you for saying that.
It was fun to be able to celebrate together that the victory of finishing
That's
first
right.
year almost.
Yep.
And the food was
Almost.
pretty good.
Oh, it was delicious. It was the best.
Food was pretty good.
Maggie, I remember talking with you and you sharing a little bit about the interview process. And one of the reasons why you picked Brookside was because Jenny, the principal, talked a lot about how Brookside teachers truly love their kids.
Yes.
And so over the past year, how have you seen that really show up in your building and in your everyday work?
Gosh.
What are some examples of that?
Yeah, I have genuinely never met people that love kids more. It has just been such a joy to be able to watch all of these teachers and then kind of hop into this community of teachers that just love their students, whether that's showing up to different games. I mean, the amount of Brookside teachers that will show up to students' soccer games or football games or cheer rehearsals or whatever they're doing, just watching those teachers show up for their kids and taking the time. I've watched Katie Eisman is a beautiful example, and Amanda Young too, of teachers that just will let students eat lunch with them and just invite them in. I mean, that's a time that is very precious to a teacher, of time to just like chill for a second, but just watching those teachers want to continue relationships with their students and bring them in and talk to them as if they're a person and not just someone beneath them has just been really beautiful to watch. And just the different things, like our art teacher, Keely Murray, has just put in her all for her students, and our 60th birthday party for Brookside mixed with the art show, just watching her dedication and allowing students to walk alongside her and come alongside her in that and help with that process was just incredible to watch. And I feel like every single day I go into work and I leave being more excited about how I could love my students better just because of how awesome my colleagues do that.
I went back and listened to Maggie's podcast in the fall. And if you haven't listened to it, please do, because it is awesome. But the one word that you kept coming back to was the word joy. And after a full school year, are you still feeling joy? And what are you doing to make sure that that joy is kept alive in you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I can say that joy has just exploded even more. I have never loved doing something more in my entire life. I love my students. I feel like every Saturday I'll tell whoever I'm with, man, I just wish I was with my students right now. I miss them so much. And I think that joy has just exploded because I just have loved being friends with my students and just getting to know them and more about their lives and creating friendships with them and hearing about their day and walking into school and being flooded with hugs and then leaving school and being flooded with hugs. And because of that, I think that's made teaching just that much easier and better. Not that it's easy, but just knowing that I have a relationship with my kids just makes me so excited to go to work every day. It doesn't really feel like work anymore. It just feels like something I enjoy doing. So yeah, I just think loving your kids and loving what you're doing, I think something that Worthington has really prepared's not the right word. I think what Worthington has really done that has benefited me is just continue to tell me to remember my why. And I think I'm always going back to that of why am I doing this? On the days that it's just really hard or a lesson flopped completely or there was student conflict or something happened, I just go back to my why of why am I doing that? And I think that is what spurs on the joy that I have is because I know that I'm doing this for a different purpose. So
I don't know, Jeff, but if you could define joy by looking at someone and looking at that sparkle in their eye, I think that's what I see right now in Maggie, right? Like there's joy in that smile and
absolutely, it's
in
genuine.
that face as she talks about her students. So that's pretty cool.
They are just the best. I love them so much. I'm going to be so sad when they go to 5th grade. I told them they all have to come back and visit me. Non-negotiable.
Maggie, you told us that the first 3 days of school, so we talked, as I said earlier, we talked to you, might have been 3 days after the first day of school. First 3 days were awesome. But of course, every year has its ups and downs. What did you navigate that may have been difficult for you this year? And how did you work through that?
Something that I did not expect to be super difficult was having students leave Brookside for just a variety of different reasons. We lost a couple of students this year just from them moving or going somewhere else. And that was honestly really hard for me because I just love them so much. And it was hard for me to think about them being somewhere else where I wasn't and them being with a teacher that wasn't me. And it was honestly probably very selfish of me to think about, but that was a really hard thing to be able to navigate of just having the trust that they were going to be okay. And then also navigating with my students that loss of one of their best friends leaving and not knowing if they'd ever see them again. And so I think that really brought our classroom family together in a closer and more deep way. But it definitely was something that I was not expecting to have to navigate and definitely had to reach out to my mom, who was a teacher when she was in her young adult years, and reaching out to my roommates who are also teachers, and then colleagues, and Katie and Julie, my teammates. Just how do you navigate sending another student to a different school and just trusting that they'll be okay? And then also dealing with the grief that your students feel of losing a friend, and how do you talk about that with them? And I think that's been the hardest thing about this year.
We keep referring back to the fall, but this is going to show growth opportunities. But one of the things that you kind of highlighted that was kind of a stressor for you is you didn't know the traditions at Brookside. You didn't know how to navigate the hallways. You didn't know where everybody's classroom was. Talk to first-year teachers, give them advice on what we would consider low-level things.
Yep.
However, let's be honest, the low-level things are the ones that oftentimes create the most stress in your life.
Yep.
What could they do? What could they focus on? And reassure them it's going to be okay.
Oh, it's totally going to be okay. I think it's silly that I was so stressed about that in the
No.
first couple
No,
of
it's
months.
not.
But
It's real, though.
It's real, yeah. I think first of all, right when you get that job, reach out to people that you are going to be working with. Katie Eisman did an amazing job of reaching out to me right when I got the job and bringing me into the school, getting to see the building. And learn those traditions by just listening to her. Also, just giving yourself grace. It honestly was such a funny thing to be able to talk with students about, like, all right, guys, Miss Torlone does not know where the gym is, so we're all going to go there together. And just kind of seeing it as a lighthearted thing to be able to grow with your students of, hey, this is your first year in 4th grade. Well, this is my first year at Brookside, so let's all learn it together. And it's been really fun because sometimes my students and I will laugh about it and they'll bring it up every once in a while. Like, Miss Torlone, do you remember when you couldn't find the art room? Like, yes, I remember. And so just being okay with not knowing something. I mean, I feel like the phrase that I keep going back to this first year of giving myself grace and you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. And so there's only so much you can do to go out and find that and figure that out. But sometimes you just got to figure it out as you go and giving yourself grace for that and not seeing it as an embarrassment of, oh, no, I don't know something, but all right, it's an opportunity for me to learn it. And if it means that I have to ask a 9-year-old where the bathrooms are, then I got to ask a 9-year-old where the bathrooms are and just kind of go with it. So yeah, that would be my best advice.
I'm trying to picture 4th grade Jeff in a classroom with a teacher who said, hey, can you show the classroom where the gym is? Yeah. I would have done it, but we would have gone on a field trip.
Oh, yeah. We would have taken the longest way to get there.
longest way to get there, and it would have been a whole lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure they probably did that.
It was an adventure of a first couple months.
Maggie, you just gave some great advice to a teacher who has landed a job and just kind of thinking about navigating their first year. This is hiring season for us. So just a year ago, you were hired about this same time. If you could think of 3 things, top 3 things that you would share with a graduate, a college graduate who is now applying and interviewing, what are some things that they should either do or be thinking about just to stay positive in that job search?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a year ago today, I think I was still in the very early stages of interviewing with Worthington. I think it was about 2 weeks from yesterday is when I got the job.
She knows.
She knows.
2 weeks from yesterday.
Cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
A year and 2 weeks from yesterday.
That's great.
But I think one, just being patient and giving yourself grace. I think everyone's story and journey in teaching is different. So try not to compare to other people. I think that's what I really struggled with, was watching a lot of my friends get jobs before me. And it was really hard not to compare. And so I think just understanding and knowing and reminding yourself that there is a plan and you are going to be exactly where you need to be. And even though maybe it's not going to be in the timing that you think it's going to be, in the end, it's going to be the perfect timing. And I would not give my months of worry and stress and anxiety for anything now that I know where I am. And so I can see now that it was completely worth it. So giving yourself grace and patience, don't compare. I think just remain excited. It's really exciting to be able to meet new teachers and meet other people. And even if an interview doesn't go the way you want it to, you can still learn from it. My best interview was my last interview, and my worst interview was my first. And so the more you have practice and time and experience interviewing and talking with other people, the more you learn. And I still can remember different things that I learned throughout the interview process at schools that I do not work at, but have influenced me and impacted me as a teacher. And I think instead of looking at the interview process as a discouragement, look at it as an encouragement of all the people you get to meet that also love what you're doing. And so I think that's a really cool perspective to have. And then I think the last piece of advice during the interview process is just to be yourself. I mean, you want to get hired for who you are as a teacher, not for who you think they want you to be. And I think I always go back to Jenny and her hiring me and telling me that she wanted someone that just loves kids. And I remember thinking, that is me. And I want to be hired because of who I am and what I can bring to the table and how much I can love and pour into kids. And so continue to just be excited about why you do what you do.
That's great advice.
That's great.
I would imagine, Jeff, as you're interviewing and, kind of screening applicants before you send them off to schools, that you're looking for that, right? You want them to love
100%.
kids. Like, that's
Yep.
got to be top priority.
Yeah.
Certainly you can grow kids in math, English, science, social studies, whatever the content area is. And that's what
Right.
we want. Our ultimate goal is to grow kids and see that growth in them. But if you don't love them, you can't
why
grow
are we
them.
It
doing
is
this?
hard
Right.
to
Yeah.
teach.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really cool.
All right, last question. And I don't know if you're ready to unveil this.
Okay.
But you said in the fall your theme for this school year was a camping theme.
Yes.
Are you prepared to unveil your theme for the 25-26 school year?
I do not know yet.
That's fine.
I'm still preparing. I'm still trying to think.
So you're workshopping some ideas?
I'm workshopping some ideas. I'm trying to think about different things that we do in third grade, learning the curriculum, the material, and then I got a really good shot. I'm a little nervous though. I don't know. I feel like I can share this because last time I was on the podcast, I had won the Golden Trash Can Award.
Yes, I remember.
Did that
So it
go
was
downhill after that? I mean,
it
that's-
got better.
Oh, it got better. Where do you go from the Golden Trash Can?
Listen, we won the Golden Trash Can
Listen,
Award.
Linda.
We won the Golden Trash Can Award at the very beginning of the year.
Yes.
And in March, my homeroom, fourth grade, won the entire Brookside building March Madness basketball bracket competition. So I don't know how next year is going to be able to top this year because, I mean, you go
That's
from
big.
starting with Golden Trash Can to ending with March Madness winners. So these third graders are going to be in for it. We got some
There's
things
only
to work
one
on.
way to go when you're sitting at the top.
I know. Maggie.
Keep going up.
There you go. That's a positive perspective. I love it. All right, let's see. I don't know if Maggie's ready, but Maggie probably thought since she did this once, she wouldn't have to do rapid fire questions.
Oh,
The
gosh.
second interview. But
Oh, no, we've got some doozies.
Yeah, we've got, yeah.
I don't know if they're doozies.
An interview never happens without rapid fire questions. So,
All right.
you ready?
I'm ready.
You
All
sure?
right, this is
Yes.
a
Okay,
reminder.
here we go.
Just like last time, you have the right to ask for a pass, but the answer will always be no.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
All right, we have quite a few this time. I
Okay.
just couldn't even whittle it down. I was just.
It's okay.
I was
Jeff,
just.
this is supposed to be 10.
I know. Well,
I'm prepared.
listen. Numbers are hard for me. All right, beach day or pool day?
Pool day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not a beach guy. I don't like the beach. I'm going to be honest. My family knows I don't like the beach. I'm just not a beach guy.
I'm just scared of fish, honestly.
Well, you're on the beach, and it's not like they're coming onto the beach.
Yeah, but they're in the water. Like, I don't like to be that close to fish.
All right. Funniest thing a student said to you this year?
Miss Torlone, I know that you think that I am a student athlete, but actually, I would consider myself an athlete student.
Okay. Well, listen.
Fair.
He wants his
Yep.
priorities straight.
No, I got it. We got to work on that. S'mores or ice cream cone?
Ice cream cone.
What flavor in that ice cream cone?
Vanilla. Best,
I just
best
set
ice
myself
cream
up for
flavor
that, didn't
ever.
I? I totally set myself. I totally
Did
forgot
you
she
not
said
hear
that.
that in the
Dang
first
it.
interview?
I totally
Vanilla is
forgot
the
about
best
that. No,
ice
it's
cream
not.
flavor ever.
Yes, we had this conversation
It
a
is a
year ago.
flavor.
Jeff.
All right, we're moving on.
I didn't change.
More nerve-wracking, first day of school or first parent-teacher conference?
First day of school.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, all right.
But one of my first parent-teacher conferences was with a family that I've known for years. So
That made it a little bit easier
like
for you?
I
Fair
gotta
enough.
cheat for that question.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Favorite song, hold on, let me start again. Favorite summer song to blast in the car?
Oh gosh. I don't remember I'm so bad with the artists, but I think it's called Sunroof.
Okay. I don't know that one.
I don't know. It's just my windows down or anything country. Anything
Yeah.
country in the summer, windows down in the car is the best way to go.
Do you have a summer song, Ange?
As soon as you asked that question, I knew he was going to ask me. But there's a Keith Urban song about
Okay.
windows down, and you said country.
Yes.
And I can't think of the name of it, but that's probably what I would pick.
Yeah.
Can you think of
Summertime?
it? Like
No. But summertime country is just kind
Yeah.
of the way to go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So
How about you, Jeff?
I just have memories of songs and timing. And my daughter Grace and I would always blare Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
It's a good one.
Roll down those windows and just crush that song.
Oh,
so I
yeah.
have really good memories of that song.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a verse?
No, I'm going to pass on that
Okay.
one. Remember, I'm the one asking questions.
You can ask the pass, but the answer is no.
You can't answer no.
Favorite classroom snack to survive a long day?
Oh, gosh. Favorite classroom snack? Honestly, crackers and cheese. That's been my go-to.
All right. Dream summer vacation spot?
Italy.
Ooh.
That would be really cool.
Most random item you found in your classroom?
Okay. I found a deer antler in my classroom that some teacher must have left in my room, and it's just kind
That
of
is-
on the top of my
Yep,
shelf.
that's a random one.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. If your first year of teaching had a theme song, what would it be?
I got to think about that. First year theme song. Well, now I just have Party in the USA stuck in my head. I'm going to be honest.
I know. I mean, it is catchy.
I mean,
there's a good chance when you leave here and drive home, you're going to put that on.
yeah, probably. 100%. I think that would Party in the USA. It's just
All
been
right.
a party. It's been the great. It's been the greatest.
All right. Favorite 4th of July food?
Oh, hamburgers, cheeseburgers.
Cheeseburgers?
Yeah.
You going American cheese?
Colby Jack
Oh, that's a good
with
one.
just lettuce and ketchup.
Nice. All right. Most surprising thing you learned about yourself as a teacher?
Most surprising thing that I've learned about myself as a teacher, like as a good thing or a bad thing?
Good. Well, take it either way.
Either way. Most surprising thing is, I know. I've actually been doing really well this year about leaving work at work and home at home. And I didn't think that I was going to be able to do that well this year. But I think that I have been surrounded by a lot of people that have been keeping me accountable, which has been really helpful, and just asking others to remind me this is time to put school away and be present with family and friends. And then when I'm at school, this is time to be present with my students in school. And that's been really cool, because I think that was one of the things I was really nervous about going into this year. But that was something I prepared for, of asking others around me to help keep me accountable in that.
Yeah, balance is important, right?
Yeah.
Most exciting thing you're looking forward to this summer?
This summer, I am very excited just to be able to spend time with my family. My sister is in college right now, and she will be home for 2 weeks before she heads out to camp that she's going to this summer. So I'm very excited to have time with just the 5 of us in my family to spend time together
That's exciting.
without any distractions.
Good. Most teacher thing you now catch yourself doing outside of school?
I definitely can see myself sometimes telling others to just like, all right, it's time to be quiet. Like if I'm with my friends, I'm like, all right, guys, like let's listen to whoever's talking. And then I have to remind myself, all right, like I can't talk like I'm a teacher anymore.
All right, last question. In the fall, you answered with Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds as your
Yes.
favorite all-time cereal. I'm now going to give you the space and time to change that answer to Fruity Pebbles.
Would you like me to change my answer to
No, I
Fruity
wouldn't.
Pebbles?
No, I just... Have you changed your answer, or do you still believe that that is the greatest cereal of all time?
So I have to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Between the first podcast and now, I have not had any Honey Bunches of Oats with
Well,
almonds.
then you're not real then. I mean, that's not a real favorite then.
I
If
know.
you haven't even had it.
But I have had an embarrassing amount of Honey Nut Cheerios.
So she changed.
So
but
she changed, right? There's
But
another...
not in the right
Not Fruity
direction.
Pebbles.
I believe it happens that way. It starts with Honey Bunch of Oats, almonds. Then it goes to Honey Nut
I'm sure it'll be Rice
Cheerios,
Krispies next.
and then it goes to Honeycombs, and then it goes to Fruity Pebbles. I don't know why, but that's the natural evolution.
It's a progression. We'll get there.
But you weren't pleased, Jeff, with the almonds, with the Honey Bunches of Oats. Are
I
you
mean,
are
I'll
you
eat
better
it. I'd
with?
like
Is this
But are you
better?
better with the Honey Nut Cheerios?
I do like
feel-
Honey Nut Cheerios. I do like Honey Bunch of Oats. I don't mind the almonds, but
That's the best part.
I don't know. They know the granola in there is the best part. And by the way, they just sell that granola by itself. Did
Do
you
they
know
really?
that? Oh yeah. I might buy it, and I might put it in my yogurt.
I was gonna say, yeah, you have to put that in yogurt.
You should.
Now, do you put fruit in your yogurt also?
Sometimes blueberries.
Okay.
Well, it depends on if Kelly makes it for me. Without a doubt, there's fruit in there.
If you don't make it yourself.
That's right. Well, Maggie, thank you. You've had a great first year. Students are super fortunate to have had the opportunity to learn and grow with you and from you. You speak so highly of the staff that you've had the opportunity to work with at Brookside.
Yeah.
And we're just super happy that you're coming back.
Thank you.
You're going to be in a different grade level, but I'm sure Brookside is super excited to have you back.
Yes.
At least you're going to be there, whether it's a different grade level or not. And I hope that our listeners out there have had the opportunity to learn from you as they begin to apply and interview for positions, hopefully in Worthington schools. So thank you for being a part of our school family and for sharing your story with us.
Yeah, it's been nothing but absolutely the best. I could not speak any more highly of Worthington and just what they've done for me, not only as a teacher, but just as a person as well. You guys have cared for me really well.
Thanks for choosing Worthington, and thanks for being awesome.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to Worth the Journey. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and maybe even learned something new about the people and stories that make Worthington schools so special. If you like this episode, don't stop here. Subscribe and join us next time. You can find Worth the Journey on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, or on our Worthington Schools website. A big shout out to Corey Carter and our communications team for bringing this podcast to life. And of course, to our students from The Ohio State University who inspired us with this idea. And remember, every journey may not always be easy, but in Worthington schools, it's always worth it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of our community. And we can't wait to have you back on our next episode.